Taurus, this is Morgan with Compass Rose Astrology, and today we're going to be going through your February astrological and tarot chat, and we're basically going to go through some of the biggest transits that are happening this month and how it affects you personally. And I'm going to first talk about some of the transits, and then we'll go ahead and go through the tarot and pull an oracle card for you. And just to kind of start off, we have some really big transits happening. We have Neptune and Venus are going to be going conjunct the same day that the Sun and Saturn are going to be going conjunct in your 10th and 11th house. And we also, before that, like a couple days, we have Mercury going conjunct with Pluto, and then it'll pass over into the 10th house with Saturn and the Sun. So we have a lot of activity happening here. Venus is also going to be going into your 12th house, which I think is going to be really amazing for you, Taurus. Having both benefics in the 12th house for you is going to be incredibly fruitful and abundant for you. You might not be able to see it right away, but it is happening for you. So really stay kind of tuned in for that. But essentially having these two groups of planets go conjunct on the same day, the way I would describe it is like we have Venus and Neptune that are the two planets. When combined, they're really full of the symbolism of really sweet devotion, a really divine connection. It's really and just to, put this out there, you don't have to believe it or not. I'm not a true believer in the twin flame, but if you want to call it like twin flame or soulmate, this is really I think it's the mixing of that feeling you get when you have a really good connection with someone else. I would say that like the shadow side of the whole twin flame would be like Venus and Pluto making aspects to each other, because that gets really obsessive and kind of dark and addictive. But having Neptune and Venus go conjunct in Pisces, where Venus is exalted, there's a lot of just really beautiful connection and love and compassion and kind of empathy happening here. But it's on the same day that the Sun and Saturn are going conjunct, and those couldn't be more different. They're not even opposite, they're just different. So when that happens, we have this kind of like austere sensibility. We have this kind of longevity and a devotion. So it could be this sense of just, this could be happening for you, like, it is the 11th house, so it's about, like, friendships, it's about connections, about networking, and the 10th house is about the career house, kind of. It's, like, how people see you, and maybe, by saying that, I'm wondering if, like, someone at work or someone that you work with kind of sees you a certain way, but when you are with your friends, you kind of come out differently, have a different side to you, and maybe someone within that group like finally sees that side of you, and it kind of like has this like pop, like this kind of really nice fire being lit. I do think this also has to be connected with your 9th house, because Mercury and Pluto are also making a big impact with their transit. So this could be, you could be really considering your own spiritual beliefs, and that could be very much tied into your friends, I would say, big time. So just something to consider. We'll see what comes up when I pull the cards, but right now let me sage and cleanse the space with this candle. It is a cleansing kind of space candle along with this sage bundle. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance. Please allow the clearest, most helpful and supportive messages to come through for Taurus. We appreciate all messages that you provide and all guidance. Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, let's get into it. Do we have messages? Do we have messages? Wow. Lots of clear messages coming through for you. Okay, one more card for Taurus, please. Okay. Okay, so interesting. So we have a lot of cups here. I just felt compelled to look at the bottom of the deck, and we have the Page of Cups. Let me think for a second. Interesting. Okay, so I think Taurus, what I'm getting here is that I think there's, and I'll just say it bluntly, I guess, because you know, it's hard to sometimes convey certain messages, and this isn't a bad one at all, but starting out with a Devil, it really points to some sense of I want to say addiction, but it doesn't have to be drugs, it doesn't have to be alcohol, but I do think it could be something that you consume, because we do have the Cup cards, and we also have the Moon card, which, let's see, that's Cancer. So it could be something that it could be alcohol, but there is some sort of like addiction that's really holding you back, and or someone in your life back. This could definitely be someone else, especially because it is the Page of Cups card. So someone in your life, you could be thinking about, maybe there's a bit of a problem happening, or that someone's refusing to see something that you've been trying to talk to them about. Wow, super interesting, Taurus. I didn't expect to get this kind of a reading, but it really is indicating your 11th house. So it might be someone that you really love. It could be someone that means a lot to you, and perhaps you're thinking that at this point there might be some sort of issue that they're dealing with that they're just refusing to see, and because they don't think that there's a problem, honestly, because they're happy, they're fine. Maybe it could even be that they're just chronically alone. This could be that would make a lot of sense. Maybe they're focusing too much on their material side and kind of refusing to address some emotions. So this could even be someone that you are in a bit of a relationship with. I don't necessarily mean that they have to be your significant other, but it could be someone that you're just very close with, and they're just not responding the way that you hoped they would. Here you are. You're showing up as the Emperor, Taurus. You have your feet on the ground. You understand what's happening better than most people, and maybe no one sees the problem like you do. No one thinks that there's a problem, but you've been really heavily affected by it. I want to say, with all of these cups coming up, it's really made you feel alone and left behind. There might even be some sort of sense of abandonment happening here for you, which is really awful. Really awful. Especially because next we have the Page of Pentacles coming in. So I'm wondering if so you've had two pages, so I wonder if you have two people in your life that you're kind of dealing with right now, and they're causing this like crisis of faith in you. Not that you're being taken down by this problem, but because you are standing really firm in your sensibilities here, but it's really causing this sort of like internal conflict for you, and maybe you don't know what to do next because of this. I really think that you're trying to dig a little bit deeper into your own reserves of stability to help this person, and it's just not turning out the way you want, and you're wondering if maybe I feel like you've really been hurt with just one too many times here, and it's just like taking its toll, and you're not ready, you're not willing to kind of keep going through that. And now with this other kind of perspective or other person that might be on your peripherals, you're wondering, well, do I continue to try to help this person, or do I just give it up as a lost cause? Because sometimes people have to change on their own, you know? Like, you can't tell someone to do something, and you're not doing that, Taurus. You just have a very grounded head on your shoulders, and you know that life just can't keep going a certain way if you want happiness, you know? And maybe you could be like trying to get this person to get out of the house, you know? They could be just really stuck in their own ways. And then this other person kind of appears, and you're like, well, they can do it. Like, why can't you? Or this person doesn't have that problem. Like, maybe if you look at it from their perspective, something like that. And I'm not thinking that this is, like, in general, like a love reading, but the fact that there are two people here, I think maybe you're just, like, comparing and contrasting, trying to give some support, trying to give some help. But if this is a love relationship, it's feeling like you're walking on eggshells at times to try to help them, and they just aren't listening. Okay, this guy wanted to come. He said hi. Okay. All right. Wow. Here you are again. That's insane. Oh my gosh. So definitely, that's wild, Taurus. You just saw me shuffle. That's wild. So anyway, so you're definitely showing up as the Emperor, and I think that's the advice that Spirit's trying to give you right now, is like definitely like dig in to your Emperor like side, which means like be practical, be that practical side of you, be disciplined, and allow yourself to lead by example. And sometimes that means like continuing to be the person that you think this other person needs modeled in their life. Like perhaps they just didn't have a good role model or someone to look at and or to help them, and like, but instead of telling them what to do, showing them what to do can usually be the most helpful approach. And then we have the Three of Wands followed by the Queen of Wands, Queen of Wheels, and the Five of Swords. So I think you know this is like a necessary change that has to be made, or else there's going to be something, this could end up way worse, you know? Like, you know that, like, having fun, being by yourself, like, that's not bad, but in extremes, it really could degrade a person's lifestyle over time. And the Three of Wands is definitely telling you that you'll have that epiphany moment. You'll know how to move forward with this, and like you'll be able to act on that. And I really do think that it's by acting in as an example, especially because we have the Queen of Pentacles here. There's this sense of kind of maternal lovingness on your side, Taurus. I think you absolutely know that there has to be a gentle hand here, and it can't be too heavy-handed. I don't even think you're afraid of this. I just think you know that there's going to be some conflict and sadness in this person's life. I think you know that you're going to upset them a little bit, but it's for the greater good. It's for their greater good. So maybe it means having to go out without them, and then, you know, realizing, oh, you know what, my person's out there, I should go out with them too, or making them feel like you're maybe afraid that you feel like they'll feel like they're going to be abandoned if you go out and you lead by example. They might have that twinge, but sometimes you can't keep enabling those good, solid, safe feelings, you know? I'm not saying that you're enabling anything, but when you keep acting like everything's fine, it lets them think that everything's fine, right? So sometimes they have to kind of feel bad for a time before they can actually realize that they need to make a change. And it's okay. It's not going to end badly. Just be that emperor, lead by example, be disciplined so that this other person knows how to act and how to be. Maybe they just don't know what to do. And, ooh, lots of cards coming out for you. So we have, oh, love it. Okay. So we have distorted desire that came out for you. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So this could be what this other person is feeling. Like some sort of sense of desire to be alone or desire to kind of party, you know, but it's distorted in them. It might be hiding something. And let me just read from the Lantern Oracle Guidebook for you. So we have, knowing the difference between needs and wants is key to navigating what is at the root of a desire. It helps us to distinguish what is a self-sabotaging compulsion or mirage from what is a genuinely life-enhancing aspiration to be realistically pursued. When we think what we want is not what we need or long for at a core level, the realization of such desires potentially results in something nightmarish rather than dream fulfillment. In worst-case scenarios, they can have us running for our lives like the featured mother. Whether or not we consciously recognize the illusion for what it is, an untruth can never satisfy our needs. Illusions have no sustenance or substance and therefore cannot satiate the burning desire that mistakenly drives us to attain them in the first place. Nonetheless, at the origin of every distorted desire is an invaluable lesson for us to learn about ourselves. Gently unpack the reasons why you're turning away from, rather than confronting, the things that are not actually as they seem in your life. It may be necessary to compassionately release yourself from an unwarranted conviction that things or a person will magically change into what they have the potential to become and cease making excuses for why they have not. Well, if that couldn't be any more concise, Taurus, I don't know what would be. Sometimes seeing potential in areas are a little delusional. It could be based on your hopes rather than on this person's abilities. So, but let them prove it to you, you know? Let them prove that they are able to turn their own life around in the way that you know that they can, that they have the potential, right? Okay, so Taurus, this is a wonderful reading. I'm so happy to be able to do this for you. Please reach out to me and let me know if any of these kind of resonate with you. These are amazing, amazing readings. This was an amazing reading for you. And I'd love to hear if you have any actual stories astrologically that you could share. And I will talk to you in the next video.